Hello, Hofstra fans, and welcome to the final sports beat of the fall semester. I'm your host, Jake Epstein, and boy, we have a jam-packed episode for you tonight. We first begin on the gridiron to talk all things college football. Next, we head over to the ice for a quick look into the NHL season so far. Following that, we'll be joined by Hofstra wrestling star Ross McFarland to discuss his season so far. After that, we will discuss what is roaring and boring in Hofstra athletics. We then will stay with Hofstra as we bring your Pride Weekly update, followed by your Pride Top 5. And finally, we take a look inside Hofstra Club Ice Hockey's team to look at wrapping up with our athlete of the month. Don't go anywhere because Sports Beat starts right now. The college football season has been filled with everything from stunning upsets to incredible player performances. Here to break it down with me tonight are Mike Palumbo and Dylan Brett. Guys, thank you so much for joining me.
Pleasure to be here.
Great to be here, Jake.
Guys, we've had a big rivalry weekend that just happened. A lot of big upsets. Probably the biggest one was Ohio State was favored by 23 points and lost to the Michigan Wolverines. How did they lose that game?
Well, it was just a simple recipe of Sharon Moore out-coaching Ryan Day like the Michigan Wolverines have done for the past 4 years. Ryan Day cannot get over this hump. And he's also on the offensive side in the offensive office. He's got Chip Kelly, one of the best offensive coordinators in all of college football, and their offense let them down. It was a matter of the offense not showing up. The defense did their job, only holding Michigan to 13 points, but Will Howard had an underperforming game too, throwing 2 interceptions, only 175 yards.
Yeah, Jake, to me, it's just a matter of playing the game on Michigan's terms. We all know what kind of football Sharon Moore and Michigan like to play. It's that hardball mentality, the smash mouth football, something they like to call phone booth football, where you get into a little phone booth with someone and you just start throwing haymakers left and right. And Ohio State, they're not that kind of team. They're a finesse group. They love to pass the ball, speed on the outsides. And for some reason, they felt like it was okay to try and prove a point, run the ball between the tackles, smash mouth football, play to Michigan's terms, and it went right in the favor of the Wolverines, who said, we'll take this all day. This is exactly the kind of game we want to play. I mean, look, guys, let's face the facts. This is a Michigan team that couldn't complete a forward pass for half this season, and Ohio State played right into their game.
You mentioned some punches thrown. It was a big rivalry weekend, very spicy. There were 8 fights that broke out, most notably with Michigan and Ohio State. $100,000 fines were sent to each team after Michigan placed their flag at Ohio State center field, and there was a big fight. Is this bad for the game, and were these fines worthy?
No, this is not bad for the game. These brawls and these flag plantings makes college football what it is. In this particular instance, the NCAA handing out the 100K fines is warranted because of how out of hand the fight got. The police got involved. Players were pepper sprayed. It was a madhouse. But the thing that makes college football what it is and what makes it so great is the atmosphere, the fans, the rivalries, and the pure hatred between teams like Michigan and Ohio State. And you look at the Red River rivalry, Baker Mayfield planted the flag all the time back in those days, and he planted the flag at the Horseshoe back in like 2016, and there was no problems then. This is a great tradition in college football, and these few fights shouldn't take it away.
Yeah, guys, I got a stat for you for anyone upset about planting the flag. 0 teams who have ever won a football game have had a flag planted at the middle of their field. So if you're upset about that happening, there's a simple solution. Settle it between the lines. 60 minutes to win a football game. Ohio State couldn't do that. And to me, it looked like they had more fight after the game than during the game. That's neither here nor there. And, as far as the fines go for the Big Ten is just so hypocritical for this because they're going to fine the schools $100,000 for the flag planting in the fight, and then they're going to put the same thing in the commercials when this game rolls around next year.
Yeah, there's a lot of advertising, a lot of new money in the league. We're talking about a lot of changes as well. We're seeing an expanded 12-team playoff. There's going to be a lot of teams that make it, a lot more than ever before, but there's going to be teams that don't make it, that are going to disappoint people. Who are going to be some of those teams that aren't going to make it in this 12-team playoff?
For me, it's got to be Alabama. I mean, they're on the bubble right now. They are in, but 9-3 in the SEC, I'm sorry, it doesn't cut it for me. I know they have a great power rank of schedule on their side, but they lost to 2 teams that they shouldn't have lost this season in Vanderbilt and Oklahoma. Vanderbilt is a team they beat almost every year, and Oklahoma came in having a lackluster season, a team they should have blown out in Oklahoma's own stadium. But I'm sorry, Kalen DeBoer, the new head coach, this Alabama hype train is over. They should not be in the college football playoff.
Yeah, you know, staying down south, I think not seeing a team like South Carolina in the playoffs is just catastrophic. I mean, this is the hottest team in college football. 6 straight wins, 3 of them against ranked teams. Had a very tough win at Oklahoma, at Clemson just a week ago in a heated rivalry showdown. Some of those fights you talked about, Jake Epstein. I mean, it's a crime that, to me, what looks like the hottest team in college football that's playing their best football at the right time is going to get punished for losses they suffered back in September and not have a chance to compete for a national title.
Decisions. It's going to be tough to see which of those 12 teams will make it. Another big decision coming up is who is going to win the Heisman Trophy. It's going to come out in a couple of days. Is Travis Hunter the clear pick for the Heisman Trophy this year? Is it his to lose?
It is his to lose because it's Ashton Genty's to win.
Whoa.
Ashton Genty is the clear winner for this Heisman race. He comes in carrying Boise State on his back, and Boise State wouldn't be in the position they are in without Ashton Genty in the backfield. He has more rushing yards than Mark Ingram, Reggie Bush, and Derrick Henry when they were in college, all who have won Heisman trophies. And you're telling me if Ashton Genty wasn't playing for an Alabama, an Ohio State, he would be the clear winner in this year's race. It's a no-brainer.
Guys, the 2 leading rushers in college football this year, number 1, Ashton Genty by himself, and number 2, Ashton Genty after contact. I mean, this has never been done before. This guy is an alien. And as Mike said, you hit the nail right on the head, partner. If this guy was at an Ohio State, at a Georgia, at an Alabama, he would be the number 1 back in college football, surefire Heisman Trophy winner. It's not to discredit Travis Hunter, but to me, this is a crime.
One-word answer, guys. Who's winning it all this year?
I got to go with the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Some people call them the Quitting Irish, but I call them the Fighting Irish. Go Notre Dame.
Not so fast, my friend. Give me the Oregon Ducks. Go Ducks, baby.
All right, well, we'll see what happens. That'll do it for college football. Moving over to the ice, Cameron Campbell brings you your NHL update.
The season may be young, but there's a lot of action on the ice to catch up on, so let's get right into it. The Washington Capitals have started the season in dominant fashion, as they are currently the only team to score over 100 goals so far. Despite losing the unstoppable stick of Alexander Ovechkin, who led the league in goals up until his injury, the Caps have continued to hammer the puck into the net, thanks to the scoring duo of Dylan Schramm and Connor McMichael. With Ovechkin out for 4 to 6 weeks, time will only tell if success is sustainable for the Caps. Moving over to the West, the Minnesota Wild and the Winnipeg Jets are currently in a tight battle for who is the top team in the conference. Both teams have been neck and neck in points, despite the Jets scoring 20 more goals. Star player for the Wild, Kirill Kaprizov, has gone on a one-man wrecking crew this season, as he currently leads the NHL in points to begin the season. Staying in the Western Conference, the Edmonton Oilers have struggled to begin their season. This group from the North has struggled to continue their winning ways, despite picking up 3 straight wins. The Oilers have a negative goal differential to their first 24 goals and sit 7th in the conference. With the incredible duo of Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid, they'll have their work cut out for them, and if they hope to get back to the Stanley Cup final. Back onto the East Coast, last year's Stanley Cup champions, the Florida Panthers, have picked up right where they left off. The squad from the South currently leads the Atlantic Division in points and have shown no signs of slowing down. Sam Reinhart has been unstoppable this year, as the center currently leads the NHL in goals so far. The Panthers will look to continue their outstanding start and go back-to-back and once again lift the Stanley Cup trophy. With your NHL update, I'm Cameron Campbell.
Welcome back to Sports Beat. The wrestling team has a red-hot start this year, led by Ross McFarland. Ross, my first question to you, what has Coach Franco brought to the team?
Yeah, he's brought a lot of good things to the team this year, and he's a familiar face. I mean, before this, he was an assistant coach, so left for a year, came back, and something that he prioritizes, which I love, is recovery and feeling good. And one of the big things is ice baths. So we did one so far this season, mandatory ice bath after practice, and I do it every single time after practice, and it just makes me feel good. And I'm always, before practice, always stretching, getting good stuff, heat, and that's one thing that he really pushes onto us, which is, I mean, if you can't feel good, how are you going to compete at your best? So he does a lot of things like recovery and flow matches, which is kind of like live wrestling, but it limits some of the variables so you won't get hurt as much. So those are some big things he pushes that I actually love, because me being a sixth year, I need to prioritize recovery.
Yeah, so being in your 6th year, how has your approach to practice and competition kind of changed?
Yeah, exactly. So it plays hand in hand. Now that it's my 6th year, I have to do things differently, because with those younger guys that are like when I was my first year, you could beat up your body a little bit more and recover a little bit better. But when you're older, you've done so many hard things, so it becomes harder to recover. So one of those things is prioritizing my recovery. So there's no substitute for hard work. You have to work hard, of course, but it's what you do before and after you do those things to really jump levels and make yourself feel good. So like I said, for me, I do an ice bath every single day for 5 minutes all the way down to my neck, and it sucks, but I've grown to love it. And before practice, I'm always there an hour early in the training room, stretching, heating, putting all types of creams and stuff to warm up my body. And those are some of the big things that I've noticed that I've done now that it's my 6th year.
Yeah, so one of the other changes you made is you moved up to 184 pounds. How has that kind of impacted your wrestling so far?
Yeah, it's had a dramatic impact, and one of the biggest impacts that I've seen is I'm much quicker than the guys, because when you go up a weight, the guys get bigger, so they naturally get a little slower. And I've noticed that when I'm in matches, I'll be in on guys' legs, taking them down before they even realize, and it's a great feeling. So I've noticed I'm so much quicker than those guys, and also I can also prioritize and practice how important it is to grow as a wrestler. So when you're cutting a lot of weight, it's hard to focus solely on being a better wrestler, because you're also trying to get so much weight off. So moving up to 184 has let me focus on being a better me, which also helps the team grow better. So.
Thank you so much, Ross, for taking the time to sit down with us, and good luck on the rest of your season. Sports Beat will be right back after this.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. High blood pressure silently affects millions of Americans. Staying on top of your blood pressure is as simple as these 4 easy steps. Self-monitoring is power. Visit manageyourbp.org to learn more.
Welcome back to Sports Beat. It's now time to discuss what's roaring and boring in Hofstra athletics. Here to break it down with me once again, Mike, Palumbo, Dylan Brett. Guys, we've had a lot of stuff to talk about. Let's get into it. Hofstra men's basketball lost most of their talent after last season, but still third in the CAA. Is Coach Speedy Claxton the best development sort of recruitment guy in the CAA?
You know, Jake, Speedy Claxton, love him as our head coach, but I'm going to give this one a bore.
Okay.
Speedy Claxton has brought in a lot of great talent over the years, and Aaron Estrada, Dawn Stone, Dubar, and Tyler Thomas. Aaron Estrada, probably one of the best players since Speedy Claxton to grace Hofstra. But still, if he was the best recruiter, he would have banners hanging up in the MAC, but he hasn't done that yet, so I don't think he's the best recruiter in the CAA right now.
Dylan, be careful. Speedy follows you on Instagram, man. A lot on the line here.
Well, be careful there, partner, because now that Pat Kelsey at Charleston is out the door, he's now at Louisville. It feels like this conference is wide open and anyone could be the best coach. And why not look at a guy like Speedy Claxton, who has a very simple approach to the guards that he brings in here to Hofstra. Come play for the blue and gold. He's going to get you to the next level. We saw it with Jaquan Carlos, who's now at Syracuse, D-Stone Dubar, who's at Tennessee, Aaron Estrada, who's now in the NBA G League. I mean, I could point to so many examples as to why this is the best development school and recruiting school in the conference. And, hey, it's not long before that results in a banner. Speaking
of a banner, Hofstra will raise a Division I NCAA championship banner in the next 5 years.
Jake, I'm going to have to give this a very big bore. I mean, that's a 5 out of 5 on the bore scale right now. We are a mid-major school. That's never going to happen. I mean, it happened a while ago with wrestling. We had a national championship wrestler, but we're never going to grace the good graces of the NCAA ever again. I mean, look at Wessel Spiel, the goalie for the Hofstra men's soccer team. We were ranked last year, made a deep run into the NCAA tournament, but he still decided to transfer out and go to Duke, a bigger, more renowned program in soccer. And on the other end, on the basketball team, they look to develop their players, help them move on. And as a school like that, we will never win a national championship if we have that mid-major mindset, because a mid-major program will produce mid-major results.
Real quick, Dylan.
Hey, remove the N from NCAA, and I think they got a shot at potentially having a roar here, but until then, I'm going to have to say bore. This is a mid-major school, a Cinderella school. Got to keep our ambitions tentative to what we have here.
All right, thank you guys so much. And that'll do it for Roar or Bore. Sticking with Hofstra, Adian Pagan brings you your weekly update.
Hey Sports Beat fans, I'm Adian Pagan and welcome to the final Pride Weekly update of the semester. Hofstra has an action-packed weekend ahead, so let's get right into it. The men's basketball team faces off against the struggling St. Joseph Golden Eagles. The Pride is coming off a massive buzzer-beater win against Arkansas State and will look to keep up their winning ways as they square off against a St. Joseph's team that has only one win so far this season. With CAA Player of the Week Cruz Davis leading the charge, Hofstra will look to continue their winning ways. Game time is set for 11:30 a.m. on Friday. Moving to the mat, the wrestling team heads to Sin City to take part in the Cliff Keen Las Vegas Invitational. Ross McFarland has had an incredible season so far and will look to continue his dominance as Hofstra looks to pick up a massive tournament win in the two-day event. Matches start 12 p.m. on Friday and 1 p.m. on Saturday. On Saturday, the men's and women's cross-country teams travel for not one, but two matchups. Both teams will first travel to Staten Island as they first match up against St. John's University. Both of these squads recently participated in the NCAA cross-country regionals and are looking to make a big impact as the teams move to indoor track. Following their Staten Island matches, both teams will head to Boston as they also take on Boston University. Meets for both teams will be held in Staten Island and Boston on Saturday. Back on the island, the women's basketball team takes on the formidable Howard Bison. The Pride have struggled this season as they currently have a below .500 record so far. Hofstra will look to the scoring duo of Emma Von Essen and Chloe Sterling to lead this squad back to their winning ways as they face a Howard team that currently has a 5-3 record, the second best in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. Game time is set for 2 p.m. For more information on schedules, live streams, and more, visit gohofstra.com.
Hofstra's had a lot of amazing plays this semester, so let's go into our Pride Top 5 right here. Are you ready for it? Let's jump right into our Pride Top 5. Let's hit it off here with our number 5 play. Let's look into it right here. We've got it. Are you ready for it? We got Coco right there. Has a break off the set. Boom! Spikes that right in there. That was so nice. Let me show it to you twice here. Alves has had 514 assists this season. You see right there. That ball right here is about to be placed perfectly. Stagely, 5'7", incredible jump. Flawless timing. The Brazilian finds a blank space to slam it in. No one's going to get there. Go celebrate those good times. Come on now. Number 4, women's basketball at Lehigh. Von Essen goes down to the basket, passes it to Swint. Swint, triple team, dishes it out to Larson. Larson, swish, catch, shoot, splash. Let's look at it again. Listen, Von Essen passes it down deep. There's a triple team. That means 2 people are wide open. There's trouble. You're shaking and baking. You're trying to shake it off right there. Catch, shoot, splash. That's it right there. Larson takes Splash Mountain from California and brings it to Lehigh. Number 3, back with Hofstra volleyball. Send it across, bump, set. We're going to go to Garvin right here for a smash. Pounds it so hard, it flies off their hands. Lehigh can do nothing with that. Towson can do nothing with that here. We've got another one. Garvin here. Let's see it again. Garvin is going to go right over that block attempt, just over there. So much power. They had a great season. It ended in Charleston, but they'll be back. A lot of young people on the score. Men's basketball at Rice, number 2. Here we go. Let's see. We're going to drive in. We're going to play fundamental basketball, and we're going to see Plotnikov goes up, in, and gets a little help from that rim. Let's see that again. This is a gritty game all around. Pick and roll. Listen, Hofstra won this game in overtime, 68-63. German Plotnikov once again with the amazing pass right there and catch and shoot under the basket. Here it is, number 1, women's basketball at Lehigh. We're going to take a look at that right now. We got a ball fake from Sterling, who's going to go drive up, fall down a little bit, pass it out, and hit a big shot right there. Fargo's got it. Bank shot to Fargo here. Listen, you got to drive. You got Von Essen, who's going to get a little space here. You also got Fargo. But you know what? It's a nighttime game. Fargo turns into Wells Fargo. That's right, bank shot. The bank is still open. Women's basketball will be back on campus hosting Howard this Sunday at 2 p.m. in the MAC. There's been a lot of amazing plays this semester. That'll do it for your Pride Top 5 Sports Beat. We'll be right back right after this.
I immigrated to America when I was 20 from a country called Uruguay. I have 2 careers. I'm in the Army Reserves, and I have a civilian career as an engineer. And I have 2 wonderful children. Every day is a challenge to make sure that the time that I have, I spend with them. It doesn't matter how tired you are, you have to be there. You have to be present for them. You have to try to teach them. When they learn something new and it just clicks in their brain, I just realized I could do this. And you can just see in their faces. It's such an incredible moment. It's those moments that are my favorite.
Welcome back to Sports Beat. Back on the ice, let's go to with Brendan Yerkes, who recently caught up with the club ice hockey team to bring you this inside look.
Hey Sports Beat fans, I'm Brendan Yerkes here at the Freeport Recreation Center. We're going to give you an inside look at Hofstra Ice Hockey's practice, along with an interview from goaltender Spiro Markoulis and head coach Ryan Kelly. And then afterwards, I'm going to take you guys on the ice. Let's do it. Shout out Sports Beat. I won't have to. I'm here with goaltender Spiro Markoulis. Spiro, tell us what it's like to be on the Hofstra Ice Hockey team.
It's interesting. It's a bunch of characters, but it's always a good time. So there's really nothing other than that.
So how do you and the rest of us as a team combine that fun aspect of coming to the rink with playing serious competitive hockey in this league?
I think you have to have fun in order to do well, because if you're not having fun, then you're uptight, you're stressed, you're gripping the stick too hard, you're overthinking whatever it is. So if you're having fun and combining it with serious, you kind of just let the flow of the game happen. You have fun with it. That's pretty much what that is.
So for all these practices and games, in what ways do you prepare?
Practices, I don't really do anything special. I kind of just come to the rink and it is what it is. But games, I try to get here like 2 hours before and just go by myself, headphones in, go for a little run, some band work, basic warm-ups, ball at the wall, and just go get ready.
Yeah. Yeah, save it next time. Jimmy's worst nightmare. We're with Coach Ryan Kelly. Kelly, what's it like to coach this team?
I've been here for 5 or 6 seasons now. It's a great experience, working with college athletes, who are just trying to go out there and continue their love for the game. We put in a lot of work throughout the season. I love watching guys come in, not only improve, but come together as a team. Watching team success and team building is one of the most enjoyable things. Following the ups and downs of a long season, and really teaching student athletes not only to be better players, but to become men at the same time, right? We want our athletes to leave Hofstra not only having success throughout their college career, but to be prepared for life after college.
So how do we combine having a good time on this team, but also the serious level of playing college hockey?
Definitely. I think, a piece of coaching that I always try and instill is you have to combine hard work, but also making it fun at the same time, right? When your athletes are coming in on a daily basis, feeling the stresses of their home lives, their school lives, and the rink on top of that, right? It starts to pile up. So what we try and do here is incorporate both, where we make our hard work, we make our drills, we promote a lot of competition in practice, where we have winning teams and losing teams, so we drive up that competitiveness, we build team chemistry, and I think finding that middle ground is really important to a successful program. You want your athletes to come in enjoying their time at the rink every day, right? We're obviously not an NCAA program, so the level of rigor is not quite as high, but at the same time, we also understand that this is a competitive sport, it's a competitive program, and ultimately our goal is to win, right? And winning is the most enjoyable thing at the end of the day, right? No one likes losing. So it's finding that neat balance between, and I think we've done a pretty good job so far of that, and continue to find new ways to build on that.
Well, that was an inside look at Hofstra Club Ice Hockey's practice today. Again, my name is Brendan Yerkes, and this is my final episode of Sports Beat. So thank you to everybody involved. It's been an honor to work with all of you and a great experience.
Thank you once again to Club Ice Hockey for that in-depth look. Now it's time once again to crown your Athlete of the Month. Once again, here to break it down with me are none other than Mike Palumbo and Dylan Brett. Guys, who are your Athletes of the Month?
I got to go with Chloe Sterling, points leader and leads the team in point scoring average. She's my Athlete of the Month. Hofstra women's basketball.
How about Cruz Davis of the men's basketball team? Went down to the Bahamas and really showed out on a weekend where a lot of his teammates didn't have the best shooting outings. He really had to pick them up. This is a guy that hasn't played real crunch time minutes in over a year. Kind of rode the bench at St. John's, dealt with some injuries, and all of a sudden he's in a star role here at Hofstra, and he's thriving.
You guys gave me a lot of great options. I saw a lot of great highlights from Sterling in our Pride Top 5, but I got to go with Cruz. I got to go with Cruz because, you know what, if your team is only got 2 wins, I can't really go with you. I love Sterling. Sterling's had a great season. They both have 2 incredible ball players. It's been really fun to watch. Guys, thank you so much for those 2 amazing athletes for me to choose from. An abundance of riches, for real. And that'll do it from us here at SportsBeat. But before we go, we'd like to take a second here and thank some of our seniors who have made SportsBeat what it is today. And thank you so much. And we want to give a special shout out to our package producer, Brendan Yerkes, for incredible work in front of and behind the camera. We'd also like to extend a thank you to Joe Ritchie, Justin Leary, and Peter Nicolino for all that they've done for SportsBeat. Along with our graduating seniors, we'd also like to thank our talent tonight, Mike Palumbo and Dylan Brett, who've brought you through the world of college football, told you what was roaring and boring in Hofstra athletics, and helped crown your Athlete of the Month. Cameron Campbell and Adian Pagan brought you updates from across the NHL and the Pride, and a special thank you to Ross McFarland for sitting down with our very own Olivia Hillstead to talk about his amazing season so far. Another big thank you to the Club Ice Hockey team for helping us bring an inside look at their team. I'm your host, Jake Epstein, and remember, Hofstra fans, always roar with pride.